Dave, moving back into the basketball news, the Pelicans made a move. This is one where it was a part of a big trade, a big 4-team trade. Denver gets RJ Hampton. Pelicans got Steven Adams. They've got 2 picks from Milwaukee, 2 other pick swaps. This was the deal that sent Drew Holiday to the Milwaukee Bucks. And I believe then the Oklahoma City Thunder got players and then some picks as well in the deal. The thing I wanted to mention from this, we already talked about Drew Holiday going to the Bucks. We don't have to rehash that.
I'm going to Woj you right now. I got to
go ahead.
This.
Go ahead. Dave's going to Woj me, going to phone me. So I'm going to kind of go into this and kind of set up the topic of Steven Adams is a New Orleans Pelicans. And for me, I am totally excited about Steven Adams being a New Orleans Pelicans, because the question we're going to ask, if you're on YouTube, you already see it, of like, what does Steven Adams mean for the Pelicans? To me, this is the one thing we talked about of like, they need to figure out what they need to do at the 5, because although Dave and I like Jackson Hayes, right? You like Jackson Hayes, Dave?
I do. It's hard not to love him after that summer league performance. I mean, I rooted for him in college. I thought he's a big, long energy kind of kid who has upside. And again, it's like, we've seen a lot of these guys. They don't fulfill their potential all the time. So like, it's just kind of like, okay, expectations set. Year 1, couple minutes here and there. He made some dumb moves, but like, he's got to get some more, meat on the bones. Got to get some more time in the gym.
Now that's interesting, Kingy. Kingy says he hates the fit. Because, like, for me, I think Steven Adams is the move that is like, yes, this is what the Pelicans needed to do. I think he's going to work good next to Zion and be a good mentor to a Jackson Hayes, help his development. I like the move for the Pelicans. Am I stupid for thinking so, Dave? Because it doesn't seem like you like the move. He's a
great man, but the fit is horrid.
Okay.
Where is their spacing? They got rid of Drew Holiday, added Eric Bledsoe, who can't space the floor. Now they go ahead and, plump in another big
Bledsoe, I believe, is on his way to Oklahoma City.
I take that back. Then.
I'm gonna double check myself. I believe he's on the way to Oklahoma City.
That was the deal for him for Steven Adams partial, right?
I think so. I'm gonna just pull up the.
Still, point being, I don't like it because Steven Adams is a big center who blocks up the lane. In Zion, in order for him to fly, he needs to be in that lane. So like, I'm picturing Zion's final form as a 5. I don't care how tall he is a 5. Out of that, or you have a tweener, like a 6'9" kind of guy, like an Onyeka Okongwu, or like a Jackson Hayes who learns to shoot the ball. Someone who has that foot speed, but also a shot on the perimeter, at least a 12-footer. Get him in space. That's the answer. Is like Steven Adams, well, he does have a good turnaround game. He can do the pick and roll at the top of the key. Like, he's not a perfect fit. That's my concern. Yeah.
Yeah,
BI is the only who shoots well on this team. I agree. Like, it's BI, it's JJ Redick, and we'll see how long JJ stays in the team. And also, who's the third I'm thinking of on the wing?
You're talking about, well, you mentioned BI? He hasn't technically re-signed yet, but like,
they're waiting to figure out final deals before they offer him his to go over the cap.
Is it the same with Anthony Davis? Or is that different? We're like, is he waiting until the moves come in because of the same?
What I had heard was he was waiting for Giannis to sign a deal before he decided. So if Giannis signs a supermax extension, then he'll sign a 3-1. But if Giannis will not, then he will sign a 1-1, and therefore lining up with LeBron James so they can both wait and let the Lakers go ahead and swoop in for Giannis on a max, and then they can re-sign both of those guys to have Giannis, LeBron, and Anthony Davis on the same team in what would surely just ruin the entire fucking league and the enjoyment of most fans. As far as I know, Bledsoe is still on the team.
Yeah, so it was George Hill that got me. So George Hill went to the Thunder.
Which is a shame because George Hill's a hell of a spacer.
It was George Hill and Darius Miller.
And shoots threes. He's got a clean form. Love him. Like Steven Adams, I don't love the fit. I think he's too slow for this roster. They love to run the ball. When Lonzo and Zion get in space, BI in transition, that is when this team just clicks. So that's I'm incredibly disappointed with this. They did add again some shooting. I forgot Kira was their first round. I loved Elijah Hughes pickup. I think the Sam Merrill one, he's just a knockdown shooter. So like if anything happens to JJ this season, they got a backup basically. It'll be a downgrade, but still. They're a team who lacks spacing at critical times. Now they have another playmaker. I think Bledsoe's, as good of an on-ball defender as they had with Drew, but like obviously the team defender is going to go down a bit. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, I don't like it. I think Steven Adams is a blah move. Like he fills a hole on the team, but here's the problem.
Yeah.
Who would you want them to go get in this time? Like with everyone pretend free agency starts over again, like who are they supposed to target?
I didn't think there was anyone they were going to get.
Turner. They can't get Miles Turner. They would love to have someone like a Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka wants to compete for a championship, not go play for the Pelicans in the bottom of the West. So like that's the problem. They need that floor spacing big. That is their dream guy. That's who they have to find next year. If they can't make a deal for him this year, like that's the problem. So you got to figure it out. That's the problem. I mean, Zion and BI are such unique stars that you need to put the right pieces around them. They will not succeed in every situation. Obviously, we saw BI. He didn't break out until they actually gave him a coach and a system around himself. And then guess what?
Are those air quotes for the comment section, Dave? Is that what those air quotes are for?
The comment section's ignorant as shit. Look, well, BI only had one season. No, he did it last year too. You guys just weren't watching the Lakers post LeBron because who would want to do that? Yeah. Like, except for true basketball fans. I'm saying, I'm not saying. You need to build systems around that kind of talent. And with Zion and BI, you need to have spacing on that floor because both need the lane as part of their game.
See, I mean, I agree with the part of like what Zion can do down low is special. I don't think Steven Adams would necessarily hurts the team in transition because like you don't need
slow as shit.
You don't need every single person down there to score in transition. Like if Lonzo throws it to Zion and Zion dunks, Steven Adams is just like, okay, I'm going back the other way. Like
right, but that's a lot of stuff forward, a lot of stuff backward, and a high pace for Steven Adams. It can wear quickly.
And maybe the other thing,
you're not the cardio machine here, but
no, I'm not. But like
running for a 250 7-footer.
Well, and that's the thing. Like with Zion, he needs to. We've seen a picture where people are saying, "Oh my God, he's lost weight." I was talking about Steven
Adams, but Zion's fatter.
I was talking about fucking Zion, where it's like, it's one of those where we've seen a picture. Apparently, he's like lost the weight. To me, I want to see him bulk up. Like it's great to lose the weight, but get muscle. Don't lose that muscle.
And thin. That's the problem.
The thing that I kind of maybe this is me looking at something that many people kind of overlooked with Zion is when you say like, "Oh, Zion's not a spacer." Not yet. To me, there's a shot. Like Sean and I would always get into these arguments because what I saw at Duke was Zion has a shot. Is he a knockdown shooter? Is he lights out from the outside? No, but he has a shot, and you can teach that. You can work on it to where I feel like Zion, if he puts in enough, you can teach. And I can't.
He's not 7 feet tall, so you don't have to teach that.
But basically, like I think he's got to do the same thing like Blake did, where Zion's got to work on that outside shot. Add that to the game.
A long time to decide to put the effort into that. I don't think that'll be the same issue for Zion. Yeah. But at the same time, Zion couldn't get his fucking weight under control for a year. So, like, that brings to question, again, the commitment to the game, the commitment to his body, and to the profession. So, there are a lot of questions as far as his personal training situation, what he thinks he is on the floor, and what the Pelicans believe positionally he is on the floor. Like, what is his role on this team? Like, maybe Zion's like, I think I'm a 5, but I think I'm the most dynamic 5 the NBA's ever seen. And I need to be 275 to be out there running with guys, more like 300, in order to bang low with them, even though he's been very clear about, like, I'm not a 5, but, like, maybe he thought, hey, if they're going to put me here, I might as well bulk up. And then it was get your fat ass in shape to run the floor. And there were some problems. So I don't know. Like, if he's a 3, he's a 3. Play him at the 3. I don't care. If he's a 4, play him at the 4. Like, whatever it is, he's got to get in the same lane as far as what his coach wants to do, what he's going to be, and how to best work his body and his shot to fit
Yeah.
that, because you don't practice threes if you're a center who's going to stand under the net and just yam it all day.
And for me, maybe it's because I don't see Zion as a center. I see him more as the four that can basically take it to the hoop and yam it down if he wants to. Also, the thing that I think of is the Steven Adams move, bringing him in. I think says more about Jackson Hayes than it says about Zion.
He's just not ready yet.
Like, you're exactly right. Not ready. Needs to develop still. And like, the one thing I wonder is, was Steven Adams brought, like, how much did Stan Van basically be like, not necessarily like, oh, I want Steven Adams, but like Stan Van coming in going, hey, in order to run my system, I need a big.
Are we going to make a wall?
I need a big. Because like, you think about it, Orlando, they had Dwight. Detroit, he had Drummond. Like, was this basically him going to the front office and like saying, or even in the conversations after he was hired, of like, hey, I need a center that is better than Jackson Hayes, because Jackson Hayes is not where we're at right now with this team.
The problem is that they exceeded all expectations last year. This was a team that had no business being in the running for the playoffs and shouldn't have been. But they exceeded expectations. B.I. stepped forward. Lonzo stepped forward. Drew was excellent, and Drew Holiday the whole time. So like, they were able to make a play to run in the bubble. But like, I think that Jackson Hayes is someone who should be getting like 25 minutes a night to run on the floor, because having him on the bench for 40 minutes and giving him 8 minutes run time, you're never going to be a pro at that minute. Like, or you're never going to be a starter. You don't get starting mentality, starting experience from 8 minutes at a time. Like, that's a lot of piecemeal minutes there. So you have to give him a long time run on the floor. And that's why I keep looking at this roster. I'm like, in theory, Jackson Hayes is the backup center and the only backup center on this roster. And therefore he should get that time. He should get plenty of time out there to run with that offense. And that's what I'm excited to see, because I don't want to watch him just sit on the sidelines again, because I think, again, athletically he is there, but physically he just needs to add a little bit of mass, work on the shot. He'll be fine. Absolutely fine with the team moving forward.
And not a big Woj bomb, but it's funny that this drops as we're talking about the Pelicans. Pelicans have signed forward Wenyen Gabriel. Hope I said that right. And then guard Sindarius Thornwell, who I remember from the tournament a couple years ago. I believe he was South Carolina. When they made that tournament run.
But for a shooter, he just gets a line. That was his whole game.
Yeah, they just signed them.
He's an incredible depth piece. We're talking third string, fourth string / G League. Yeah, for both of those guys. Well, Wenyen's got a chance, actually. I take it back, but still.